I'm Ashton Addison from the Crypto Coin Show, and today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Mark Speare, CCSO of B2Broker. Mark, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time.
Good to be here, Ashton.
Yeah, excited to dive into crypto exchanges, brokerages, OTC, however else we can get our hands on crypto, because there's a lot of demand for it right now, especially with the institutional interest only continuing to grow over the last year and a half, 2 years. I would love to start off our conversation by hearing a little bit on yourself, your background in finance and technology, and how you got so interested in B2Broker and brokerages.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Mark. I've been a broker here since last June, a little over a year and a half. My interest in the company was, if you look at the financial markets and where things are moving, it's a very quickly evolving industry. You look at companies like Revolut and Monzo that have kind of removed these old traditional banking systems where you have people, you have tellers, you have traditional banking, and it's democratized a bit where you can have a card that'll work globally. You have access to, crypto exchanges. You have access to stock markets. You have access to so many things within one app. And that was something that I wanted to be a part of. When I heard what B2Broker is doing and their ecosystem of solutions in different areas, it's a really exciting journey to be a part of not this company, but also the finance industry and where things are moving.
Definitely. It's very exciting, and I'm so glad that banks are finally catching up and fintech companies towards more globalization and how money should be. Where the last thing in the world I want to do is wait in the line at the bank, or even if I go to a different country, have to do it and not know what you're going to do with foreign currency and the banking system there. Just make it all global. And so the technology's come a long way, and I feel like crypto has really helped push that as well. I would love to know more about B2Broker and exactly, there's so many different parts to it, but maybe you could give a high-level overview on how you guys are helping push the space forward.
Yeah, so B2Broker, we're a global fintech provider, and we've been in the industry since 2014. Our core mission's simple. It's, going back to what I was saying, it's about democratizing and making things simpler, right? We bridge the gap between finance and in technology. We want businesses to focus on launching and scaling faster. Let companies like ourselves help with maintaining the solutions and the tech environment, building the relationships with the providers. You focus on growing your business because at the end of the day, that's the most important piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to provide the backbone of your financial platforms, your infrastructure. You focus on growing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And do I have it right that, you know, sometimes people think of traditional brokers as like, I want to buy some stocks, I'll call, pick up the phone, call my broker. But I feel like it's so much more than that. And there's many new brokerages popping up that it's a lot of work to start it from scratch, but it's possible with B2B Broker for people that want to start up businesses like that to use the technology.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anybody that's worked in tech, I mean, my background before joining B2Broker was in the tech environment. It's very expensive to build your own platform. It's very expensive
Uh-huh.
to maintain these relationships. We've invested millions of dollars, millions and
Mm-hmm.
millions of dollars, and continue to invest in our platforms. Uh, that's just one area. You have the legal side in terms of
Mm.
the jurisdictions, you have the exchange platforms, you have the integration. So to get this set up and build it on your own, it potentially could cost, just the platform,
Mm-hmm.
potentially three, $400,000. Then you have to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
Our approach is we want to be that all-in-one solution that we've made these connections, we've built this ecosystem of solutions, and the access to market is much more efficient from a resources and cost-effective point of view. than that traditional route, which I'm guessing most people don't have millions of dollars to
Hmm.
spend on a platform.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel I've met founders, I know founders that are friends that wanted to start a crypto exchange as an example. And there's so many faucets to compete against, but yeah, it takes millions just to get it started. And then, you're already in the hole for millions, and then you're fighting an uphill battle. But I feel like there's great technologies out there that can like help you with 80% of it, and then you just have to worry about the customers and the marketing,
Exactly. Yeah.
and and as well, with institutional interest growing for Bitcoin and Ethereum. What about OTC desks or other things that aren't like your traditional crypto exchange that's trading altcoins? Do you guys support in sort of the big players and helping TradFi get more interested in top digital assets?
Yeah, I mean, we are constantly looking how we can expand our offering. We have some exciting announcements that'll be coming later this year. Um, around additional offerings, our ecosystem's already robust,
Mm-hmm.
but that will be expanding. And areas like spot crypto and we it's funny because when you look at our product offering, it's comes from direct feedback from the customer.
Mm.
When the company started, we started with two customers and 10 employees. Arthur founded the company in
Mm.
2014, and the initial few products came out of a need not just from the customer
Mm-hmm.
side, but also our side in what we would like to do. If you look at our payment processing solution, um, there was a need for customers to be able to make payments or transfer in crypto. And at the time, there was only a handful of players that could do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the beauty of tech and what we're doing is we look at how the market shapes what needs to be built and we build it, either if it's from the market or customers or our own strategic initiatives.
Yeah, no, that's a very good thing because I feel like that's business 101. Don't build a product that has no demand. See the demand and then build the solution. And we've talked about a couple different things that B2Broker is working on, but I was reading up on sort of the three main pillars. Maybe you could explain them a little bit more. There's the core product, there's the trader product, and there's the copy product, which I'm interested in.
Yeah, so our B2 Core, it's our CRM and traders room solution. So you could think of it as the central nervous system of the brokerage. It's handling the client onboarding, the KYC processes. You need to store all those contacts and manage
Mm-hmm.
those investors. And it could also handle back office operations. So that's our B2 Core solution. We've recently introduced our B2 Trader solution, which is a multi-asset trading platform. The technicals, it processes up to 3,000 requests per second because one of the main areas we heard from customers is we need a low latency
Mm-hmm.
exchange platform. I think what makes that platform truly unique is the multi-asset capability where traders can access, Forex, crypto, CFDs, metals,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do all that from a single account, which is unique in the space right now.
Mm-hmm.
The other platform, B2Copy, it's our what we say our three-in-one investment platform, combining social trading, I think, or copy trading, what people are familiar with, but also PAM and MAM functionality. Um, it's funny because I remember 20 years ago, 15 years ago when I was trading, it can be a bit overwhelming for a new person coming in
Mm-hmm.
to say, where should I trade?
Mm-hmm.
And when this came into the market, it democratized and made access to people that may be hesitant to even put $500 on the market. But if you can get access to people that have the knowledge, the technical and fundamental understanding of trading, and to be able to piggyback on that,
Mm-hmm.
it opens up a new market. And I think if you look at brokerages and the saturation in brokerages nowadays, you almost have to have it as part of your offering to make sure you're keeping customers.
Definitely. I want to dive into the trading part more because there's a lot of faucets for crypto exchanges and also just overall trading on traditional markets, which this sounds really nice because I think a lot of crypto traders that I know, they're hoping to be getting easier access to equities, Forex, and same with the traditional stock traders that have been around for 30 years trading Forex. They like the platform that they're on, and they like the way that trading traditional assets is. They don't want to go to like Coinbase or something and like have to start over again, So it's like merging the two of them. But on the technicals, you mentioned there about the speed. When there's a company that wants to start a crypto exchange, what are some of the main factors to success? Obviously, having it fast, but like cheap or other offerings that can help drive traction once the platform is actually built.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of brokers, especially what we see I would say the more startup brokers, I think what they feel is they want to start small or they don't need, institutional grade solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, due to, the options in the market today, it's not a question anymore. It's a necessity. You
Mm-hmm.
need to start. Just because you're small doesn't mean you need to be amateur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can use proven scalable technology from day one because there's solutions like us out there that allow you to do this at a reasonable cost.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my first piece of advice. Touching on what I said about B2Copy, it's what we focus on here, right? Everybody knows acquiring new customers is much more expensive than maintaining your current customers and making sure those
Mm-hmm.
are engaged.
Yeah.
So I think anybody that's looking at the space, there should be a retention strategy or plan in place to make sure you are acquiring, but also keeping customers happy. So 24/7 support, customer education, community building events. These are all nice ways to keep your customers engaged. Um, Another area, regulatory compliance. If unfortunately brokers, we see it every day in the market where they cut corners on
Mm-hmm.
compliance and then you either face a massive fine or
Mm-hmm.
you get shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Liquidity, multi-asset liquidity, in order books, these things kill confidence. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure
Mm-hmm.
you have a strong liquidity provider.
Mm-hmm.
And really the last piece that I want to touch on is, well, actually two more things. The community and education. I I feel this is something that is very downplayed. When you think of how quickly finance is evolving, all these different markets are evolving, there's an educational element that it needs to be part of it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we take that very serious to educate our customers that are coming on board.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about the LATAM markets, the knowledge isn't quite there compared to the Europe markets. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to adjust if you're multi-jurisdictional,
Mm-hmm.
what you are presenting to your customers to make sure they're not just going on without the education. Because what will happen is they'll go on, they'll invest, and they'll get upset, they'll lose their money, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to come back. If you create an experience that they are
Mm-hmm.
educated before they enter the space, it
Mm-hmm.
creates a better user experience. And the last piece is just multi-asset, right? As I said, there's a lot of companies out there or brokerages out there that you can do, indexes, metals, and forex, but you can't access CFDs or spot.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure you have that multi-asset strategy is important because customers demand it nowadays.
Definitely. And on those different jurisdictions, as you're talking about LATAM, sort of new entrants or more education is needed, I feel like that's where the B2 copy, the copy trading and social trading can really help get people in because they can see people making money and they're like, if I can just do what these people do, then I'll be better off. But I feel like you need that balance of if you can copy your friend's answers for the test, but if you didn't learn anything, eventually you're going to fail.
Exactly. And they all run in parallel. None of these things are, when you're talking about investing and trading, or, how we see the market growing, it's not a single lane. There's multiple lanes, and it's
Hmm.
about, okay, you can invest $100 in this person that has 20% returns over the last year.
Hmm.
And while you're doing that, you could see where they're trading and why they're trading it. You could start to get a better understanding and start to ask questions. I think the curiosity that would come from social trading to better understand the why
Hmm.
is something unique, because you get over the first hurdle of getting people in, and then you educate them to hopefully trade more.
Hmm. Definitely. And trying to keep up with all the trends, education is important, but it's just going so quickly, especially with the introduction and integration of artificial intelligence in trading. Maybe AI agents are even trading on these exchanges nowadays. It's hard to tell. It's growing so quickly. Can you touch on AI, and is there a role for AI in B2Broker, and where do you see AI in trading on all these different types of exchanges right now?
Yeah, so I could tell you on the beta trader side of things, one of the things that we will be introducing in the future is algo trading, which essentially it is a form of AI, because the algorithms are learning as it grows, right? Um, I could speak in terms of my specialty within the company. We are constantly looking at how to leverage AI, and I think
Hmm.
there's two parts to this. When you're looking at technology solutions, including ours, it should be a question during the procurement or during the discovery to say, how are you introducing AI in your company?
Hmm.
And on the flip side, myself in the company leading the strategy on processes and tools and data, I'm constantly thinking about, the neural networks of, you have data coming from 12 different sources of information, being able to link all that information together to make sense of it. There's a
Hmm.
lot of power in being able to digest, analyze, and move towards a more predictive model, whether it's sentiment analysis and support, whether it's the algo trading, whether it's customer acquisition, understanding what marketing strategies are successful, which ones
Hmm.
aren't.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, when we talk about AI, it's the movement of data and identifying the trends. And if you
Hmm.
start from a place where you understand that, and you engineer the data around that, it becomes much easier to plan and future proof yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really exciting, the advancements in AI that everyday people have seen through these LLMs in the last 2 years, and I think all smart people are utilizing it, especially coders. If you're not, then you're not doing yourself a favor at all. But I feel like in trading, it's still in its infancy. I feel like over the next 2 years, maybe. The AI is going to be so much more than there's definitely algorithmic trading, but I feel like AI is going to be able to trade on your behalf and manage, help you understand your assets and hopefully educate you more as well. Do you have any thoughts on sort of the future, in the near term future, as it moves fast, especially in crypto and AI, in how AI might play a more important role in B2Broker?
Um, it's a good question. I think, as I said with us, there's a lot of different areas that we are combining our resources, our knowledge base. I can give you an example. One of the areas that we're looking at is sourcing information from all over the place to improve our onboarding of new employees.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about in the context of a customer, there's tons of knowledge already out there, right? around trading, around the financial industry, around certain topics. You can utilize all that information out there to create your own little community and articles and build a onboarding plan for new customers that is like training 101 with very minimal effort, right? You could do it over a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of B2Broker and how we're utilizing AI, I think it's across all our different
Mm-hmm.
platforms, and it's internally how we are positioning ourselves with the different tools we're using. So I don't think there's any specific one area. It's just more of a global mindset and an organizational mindset to say not how, but really where are the places that we can leverage this? Because
Mm-hmm.
we know we can and we know how to do it. It's more what is the outcome, the business outcome that we're trying to achieve, or what's the challenge that we're trying to solve?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, Mark. And yeah, I think it's going to go in all facets of the business. And that example there, sort of paints a good picture. Any way that you can help uh, get better data and information to build the platform, help your customers. Um, I'm impressed with AI right now, but I feel like it's going to be beyond what any of us can comprehend in how it's going to transform. So I'm excited to see it. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the starting your own brokerage and or crypto exchange, for example. We talked at the beginning about how it takes millions of dollars, legal hurdles, a lot of time. Could you walk me through realistically if I had a small company and I wanted to start a brokerage or an exchange, how quickly we could get that done?
Yeah, so I think that's the beauty of B2Broker. I mean, realistically, from a contract being signed through to delivered, we're talking, 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 8 weeks. And this
Mm-hmm.
is full turnkey solution. If you're talking some of our other, let's say, a la carte single solutions, it would be much faster. Um, but it's the beauty of working with one vendor compared to the more traditional approach where you had maybe five different liquidity providers, you had the exchange platform, you had your CRM, and you needed to
Mm-hmm.
connect and integrate all these things, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever worked with multiple vendors, but trying to get them to communicate and talk and work together is not easy.
Yeah.
So I think that's the beauty of what we do is we take all the relationship work out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just you work with one vendor, we aggregate all our liquidity from all our LPs, and it creates a much more streamlined process. And from a billing perspective, I mean, I'm submitting, invoices for our different tools every day. It's just one invoice that
Mm-hmm.
you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So timeline, you know, I would say 4 to 8 weeks.
Wow, that's really nice. And I'm curious, I know in crypto at least, they say there's these 4-year cycles, and maybe the institutional interest has broken that because I feel like Bitcoin and Ethereum have been going up for a year or two straight. But right now, this American stock markets also seem to be very hot. Do you see like a fluctuation in the interest of new brokerages and exchanges? If the market's hot, or like over the years, the macro environment affects how many new brokerages are popping up.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, I think it comes down to accessibility, right? In the past, the accessibility wasn't what it is now. So to get a brokerage started, it was much, much harder. Whereas today, as I said, 8 weeks and, very low initial investment from your side, you can get up and running. And if you look at the market, I mean, Bitcoin touched close to, I think, 123,000 a couple of weeks ago. The demand's there. So I think it is kind of a perfect storm in terms of finance regulation is changing quickly these days, especially if you look in the US and what's happening in terms of their view on crypto. You look at all the digital assets. I mean, even Ethereum topped its all-time high. I think it was last week or the week before. You are going to continue to see more institutional investment and more risk appetite from those institutions, as well as the macro environment. Like, let's be honest, what's happening in the States and in other
Mm-hmm.
places in the world, it is going to create this volatility.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a unique time where the industry is going through this massive change. You have a lot of volatility in the market, but continued growth across different asset classes, as well as easier access, lower barriers to the market. So it's kind of a perfect storm right now that's happening.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time for you guys as well. How does that correlate to the roadmap for B2Broker and what's planned over, the rest of 2025 moving into next year?
Yeah, so it's it's interesting because other companies, you look at some of our competitors, they're in that one space or, maybe one or two products if it's liquidity in the exchange platform. But we're very diversified in terms of our exchange platform, our social trading, our CRM, our liquidity, our payment processing, and they're all streams in terms of we want to innovate and become the leader in each of these streams. So in one way, it's challenging to try to manage a roadmap across five different areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say on the beta trader side, looking at spot crypto on the coming of algo trading will continue to focus on how the systems integrate with one another because the best tools or the best companies out there create that seamless experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that will continue to be a push of ours to see how we create a more seamless integration between the different tools. Um, if you look at our Beta Core, there's a couple of different areas that we're going to be focusing on in terms of the analytics and on the um, a couple of different areas on that platform. And then the last piece is, as I said, we have some very unique offerings coming later in this year that unfortunately I can't talk about now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of customers will be excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think again, if you look at the ecosystem we've built, it's about creating a unique offering that others are not doing. When we built Beta Trader, being able to connect to a single account across multi-assets was unique.
Mm-hmm.
And we will continue to look at ways that we can differentiate ourselves from the others.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing that secret announcement. I would love to have you back on to break the news. And hopefully the markets, I think so, they're going to continue to rise and see more interest in these type of offerings as well. For businesses or small companies or individuals, anybody who's interested in learning more about the brokerages and this quick setup time, crypto exchanges, any other offerings, what's the best way to learn more and get started?
Yeah, so you could visit our website at b2broker.com. You could also message us at sales@b2broker.com. We have a scheduling integration that you can book a direct demo with one of our salespeople based on whatever your availability is.
Mm-hmm.
But we have multiple channels, and we constantly are events. We constantly try to create our own events as well. Our goal is not just to create products, but to actually build a community that is educated around finance and around what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, multiple ways to connect with us.
Very fun. I'll leave the link to the platform and the contact and the socials in the show notes below. Appreciate your insights into the markets, what makes a great crypto exchange, and how we can merge TradFi with digital assets together as the institutional interest and retail interest continues to grow. Wishing you and the team all the best moving forward. And as I said, would love to follow up again in the near future, Mark.
Thank you, Ashton. Appreciate your time today. Clicking on the link, you will see a pop-up window, and there you'll receive a comprehensive guide on how to start your own crypto exchange. Or if you're ready, just click book a demo and book a call with the salesperson today.